It's the story of my life. The more I try to get done, the more there is to do. I was getting ready to start recording this episode of Stating the Obvious, working on the pile on the floor. This is going to be another one of the pause and go recordings. Randy is not here to keep me on track. I'm all on my own. So far I've done good. I almost attempted to record without the microphone being configured correctly. And then, of course, as I was doing a little bit of research for something I was going to talk about from the pile on the floor, I fell down the rabbit hole of the internet and found a couple more things I want to talk about because I don't fucking have enough shit to talk about as it is. And that's why you can scream and shout and whine and cry and sniff and piss and moan. You can even shove your opinion up your ass. That way your head would have something to keep it company. I'd say that those two possibilities are really good places to start, but what most likely is happening is that you're wrong and I'm right. So for those of you who don't know who I am, if you just stumbled across this for the first time, I am the Great One himself. I'm the founder of the Cynical Libertarian Society. This right here is the Stating the Obvious podcast. It is the weapons platform from which I launched the cruise missile of my intellect. The cruise missile of my intellect is nuclear tipped. There's a nuclear warhead in there. And when it hits the target, there's a giant mushroom cloud explosion of nuclear power that fucking obliterates stupid motherfucking statist, which is kind of redundant because to be a statist you have to be stupid. There's no such thing as a statist that isn't stupid. If you're not stupid, then you understand that theft and violence and murder are wrong. So this great thing on Twitter, where the fuck is it? I wonder if I can pull it up. See here, this fucking computer. Voluntarist dude, he tweeted this. It says, anarchism is an extremist position, like being 100% opposed to murder, rape, and theft is extremist. Sadly enough, this is exactly how the vast majority of statist idiots out there believe it. It's like if you say that you are completely opposed to murdering other people in all circumstances, well, there's something fucking wrong with you. You're an extremist. You're dangerous. You're a terrorist. And that's exactly how fucked up you people are. We'll see how that comes across. That was me opening a beer. I'm going to have a beer while I'm doing this. Can't have too many because I got shit to do. Yesterday I drank an entire growler. By myself, of course. Which isn't exactly a feat for me. I can drink an entire growler of beer by myself. Pretty much any time. Alright, I'm supposed to be focusing and not rambling. So let's focus here. As soon as I can figure out how to work the mouse. So as doing some research, I fell down a hole. I found a couple of things. I'm going to put links for these so that you can go read these. These are both from Mother Jones. Ah, yes, it must be true. It's on Mother Jones. The first one shows that belief in astrology is going up in 18 to 24-year-olds. They've got a nice little chart graph here for people who don't want to have to read numbers. But apparently, according to wherever they got this information, source is from the National Science Foundation. So that's a government organization. It must be true. The government said so. According to the National Science Foundation, almost 60% of people age 18 to 24 believe in astrology. Now we should point out, does this mean that they really believe in astrology, or does this mean that they don't know the difference between astrology and astronomy? Whichever it is, this is of course the smartest generation ever. They have Google, they have iPhones, they have Siri. They are going to solve all the world's problems because they are the smartest generation ever. 25 to 34-year-olds, looks like about 45% believe in astrology. 35 to 44, it's around 43%. 45 to 54, it's around 40%. 65 or older, about 30% of them believe in astrology. And 55 to 64, about 30% of them believe in astrology. Smartest generation ever. The other thing at Mother Jones, now link to this. Oh, wait. This is not what I'm looking for. There we go. So apparently, here's a crisis. The number of abortions performed in the United States is going down. Abortions per 1,000 women has gone down. 1991, it looks like it was about, looking at this chart here again, it's about 27 abortions per 1,000 women in 1991. In 2011, it is at a record low. It says record low on the chart. A record low of 16.9%. 16.9 abortions per 1,000 women. I'm not sure what that 0.9 abortion is. Maybe she wasn't completely pregnant, or maybe they didn't get all of it out. Oh, God, that's a joke. Anyway, only if you're a feminist can this be a crisis. Now, of course, there's the usual hysteria of, it's Mother Jones. You can read Mother Jones articles about the hysteria of anti-abortion laws being passed and everything like this. Only if you're a feminist would the number of abortions going down be a cause for alarm. Maybe, just maybe, women are figuring out finally how to use birth control. I mean, it's their bodies. Which brings me to what we'll start this off with, and what I originally started researching. This is from the pile on the floor. This is a newspaper article from, how far back in time are we going here? May the 1st, 2013. Contraceptives. Plan B offered over-counter for ages 15 and up. The government is moving the morning after pill over the counter, but only those 15 and older can buy it, an attempt to find middle ground just days before a court imposed a deadline to lift all age restrictions on the emergency contraceptive. Now remember, you supposedly own your own body. That's what you women always say. And supposedly you're free. You're not a slave. So then why are there any restrictions on who can buy this medication? I mean, if you own your own body. Now, of course, the question arises, where does a 15-year-old get money to buy the pill? 15-year-olds don't really work for a living, and they don't really have an income, because we have child labor laws to prevent children from working, because, of course, well, you don't own your own body. When you're 15 years old, you can't make the decision to get a job and exchange your labor for money. Oddly enough, however, you can make the decision to abort the fetus inside your body. So you own your body if you want to get an abortion, but if you want to get a job in order to make money to get the abortion or get the over-the-counter abortion pill, you don't own your body to do that. I wonder why that might be. Well, it might be because if a 15-year-old can get an abortion, but a 15-year-old can't get a job to pay for the abortion, who's going to pay for the abortion? Well, Obamacare, of course. The government, federal subsidies, state subsidies. White men who work for a living will have their money redistributed to free abortion clinics or Obamacare abortion clinics or whatever it may be, whatever the mechanism is. Today, Plan B, one step, because we had to put the name One Step in there. Otherwise, the medicated generation, the smartest generation ever, people who believe in astrology, might think that the pill is 2 steps or maybe 3 steps. You have to say on the fucking box that it's a 1 step. You take the pill, it's 1 step. Otherwise, they would get really confused. Apparently, Katy Perry believes in aliens. She's medicated generation. I don't know, I'm just throwing that out. Today, Plan B One Step is sold behind pharmacy counters, and buyers must prove they're 17 or older to buy it without a prescription. Tuesday's decision by the Food and Drug Administration lowers the age limit and will allow the pill to sit on drugstore shelves next to spermicides or other women's health products and condoms, but anyone who wants to buy it must prove their age at the cash register. Or you just find somebody who's 18 or older to buy it for you. I mean, I'm assuming that these 15-year-old girls who have gotten knocked up have some fucking friends. Then again, maybe not. Step in the right direction? Question mark. Some contraceptive advocates call the move promising. Quote, this decision is a step in the right direction for increased access to a product that is a safe and effective method of preventing unintended pregnancies. It's also a decision that moves us closer to through these critical availability decisions being based on science, not on politics, unquote, said Senator Patty Murray, Democrat, Washington. What decision here is being based on science, not politics? All of this is based on politics. The idea that there should be an age limit to get access to this medication is a political decision. That there's no science involved in this. The science that's involved in this is what I got on the internet to originally research, is let me pull one of these up real quick. The science that's involved here was the discovery that the Plan B abortion pill may not work on women who weigh over 176 pounds because they're too fat. That's the only science involved here. And of course, this caused all the fat women and the feminazis and the femistatists to go fucking insane about how the fat women are being discriminated against and patriarchy and rape culture and all this other stuff, and caused people like myself to remark, what men out there are so fucking devoid of standards in where they stick their cock that a woman who weighs more than 176 pounds would need a fucking abortion. Okay? Fat women, this really isn't a big deal because fat women aren't going to need abortions unless they're just trying to get one. Right? I mean, I could see fat women who are femistatist going to get an abortion even though they aren't pregnant just for the sake of getting an abortion. I could see that happening. But fat women aren't going to need the Plan B pill because fat women aren't having sex. So in a way, it might be a moot issue. But I just think it's funny that nature says, hey, you've got this pill, it's going to cause the abortion, but if you're fat, it's just not going to work because you need to lose some goddamn weight, which is exactly what men have been saying for years to fat women. Lose some fucking weight and get rid of your mustache. Saw a chick today. She's really hot. Totally fucking hot, except she has a goddamn mustache. Her mustache was thicker than mine. Why can you chicks not fucking shave your mustaches? And I know what you're going to say. You should love me. We deserve love anyway. No. Let me ask something. If a man was living at home with his parents and had no fucking money and he smelled bad, would you sit there and go, oh, well, I'm going to love him anyway? No, of course not. You have standards for the men that you let stick their cock inside your cunt. But somehow or another, you think men are supposed to not have any standards for the cunt they stick their cock into. No, lose some weight. Shave. You know how, this is what amazes me, is women, in order to be attractive, basically only have to do a couple of things. Number one, don't be fat. Number two, have long hair on your head. Number three, don't have hair on your upper lip and shave your legs and your armpits. And then number four, just stop talking once in a while. I mean, that's all you have to do, and you will be attractive to 80% of the male population. Men, in order to be attractive to women, they of course have to have a high-paying, stressful job, a bunch of money to spend on the women, which comes from the high-paying, stressful job that they spend a lot of time with. They have to have a nice car. They got to have muscles. They got to have a nice place to live. We have to do all this fucking work. And basically all you women have to do is fucking shave your hair a little bit and stop shoving ding-dongs in your mouth all the fucking time. I want to hear about the fucking patriarchy and how fucking hard you've got it. Let's get back to plan B. Where's my beer? So what happens when I'm left on my own? Today's March the 21st, by the way. The email address is God, that's dog spelled backwards, God at cynlibsoc.com. Cynical Libertarian Societies on the Internet, cynlibsoc.com. Also in the process of, you can listen to us on Stitcher also, in the process of doing this series about the pile on my floor. I got some of the numbering off. I think I have 2 part 6s. So the second part 6 is actually part 7. I think this is part 8. I'm going to try to get my shit together and make all of that happen correctly when I post this one. Let's get back to reading. But earlier this month, U.S. District Judge Edward Corman of New York blasted the Obama administration. He blasted them, yes, for imposing the age 17 limit, saying it had let election year politics trump science and was making it hard for women of any age to obtain the emergency contraceptive in time. Now imagine that. The Obama administration made a political decision. That's incredible. I can't believe that. Because Obama has a Nobel Peace Prize. He is the most transparent president. He has the most transparent administration. He's the most ethical president ever. He walks on water. But so wait. So he blasted the Obama administration for imposing the age 17 limit. So the Messiah is the one who imposed the you must be 17 years old to buy the pill limit? Well, but wait, I thought he was the friend of the feminazis. I thought he was going to provide free abortions for all women. I mean, I thought under the Obama administration, not only would you be able to get an abortion paid for by your Obamacare, but if the fetus being scraped out of your qUsi was a female fetus, the fetus could also get an abortion paid for by Obamacare before the fetus was aborted out of your Cootch. So you could have like a double abortion. If Obama cares about your fucking uterus so fucking much, why did his administration, the most transparent administration ever, the most ethical administration ever, impose an age 17 or up? And of course, what's magical about the age 17? So if you're 16 years old and 11 months and 3 days, you're too dumb to take a Plan B abortion pill and fucking flush your Cootch. But somehow or another, once you're magically 17 years old, now you've got some special power you didn't have before. And now you can flush your Cootch out? I mean, either it's your Cootch or it's not your Cootch. And this is why those of you who are stupid look at people like me who are anarcho-capitalist and see us as extremists. I'm the only person here who understands that if it's your Cootch, then it's your Cootch. It doesn't matter how fucking old your Cootch is. If you're 14 fucking years old and you stuck a cock in your Cootch and you got pregnant and you want to flush your Cootch out, well, it's your fucking Cootch. Flush the motherfucker. Just don't do it with my tax money. You can flush your fucking Cootch all day. You can take a Plan B fucking pill every fucking day. You can make it not a 1-step, it could be a 30-step. Every day of the month you could take, I don't care. It's your fucking Cootch. Just pay for it yourself. He ordered an end, he, referring to the judge, not Obama. He ordered an end to the age restrictions by Monday. The judge ordered an end I thought the Messiah was the supreme law in the country. I don't know. The women's group that sued over the age limit said Tuesday's action is not enough and it will continue the court fight. Lowering the age limit, quote, may reduce delays for some young women, but it does nothing to address the significant barriers that far too many women of all ages will still find if they arrive at the drugstore without identification, unquote, said Nancy Northup, president of the Center for Reproductive Rights. Yes, for example, if these women weigh more than 176 pounds, it doesn't matter how many Plan B one-step pills they take, their cooch is attached to a body that's too fat and it can't be flushed out. Here's another question. Who goes to the drugstore without an ID? Who in the United States of America, where you're forced to have an identification, you can't fucking live in this country and interact with society without a fucking ID. And I'm not saying you should have to have an ID. Again, I'm the one who's saying it's your fucking cooch. You should be able to buy this pill no matter how old you are. You shouldn't need an ID. It's your Messiah, Hussein Obama, the most transparent president ever, who's saying you need to have an ID to prove you're a certain age to buy the cooch cleaner. Who the fuck doesn't have an ID? Find for me the person in the United States right now who doesn't have an ID. You can't get a job without an ID. So if you can't get a job without an ID, how are you going to have money to purchase the cooch cleaning medication? Obamacare is going to provide it for free. That's where we are eventually going with this. Right? That's what all of this is. This is the build up to more reasons why women cannot get enough birth control. Right? The point is going to come where all birth control is going to be all female birth control. No man will ever be able to get a vasectomy paid for by Obamacare or the government. That will never happen because men need to get women pregnant because that assists in the transfer of wealth. Right? You get a woman pregnant, she doesn't marry you, but you have to give her child support payments. That's part of the wealth transfer process which the government needs to survive. So male birth control paid for by the government or paid for by Obamacare is never going to happen. It will never happen. That will never happen. You can call this an official prediction. It will never occur. But what all of this is pushing towards is the day when all female birth control is provided by the government at the expense of heterosexual white men who work for a living. That's what's happening here. The FDA said the Plan B one-step will be packaged with a product code that prompts the cashier to verify a customer's age. Anyone who can't provide such proof as a driver's license, birth certificate, or passport wouldn't be allowed to complete the purchase. But of course, remember, you own your own body, and we live in a free market, and you're a free person, and you can do whatever you want, but you can't buy this pill to clean out your cooch if you don't have a government-issued ID. But of course, you're not the property of the government. No, of course not. Well, you're not a slave. No, of course not. It's just that you can't buy cooch cleaning medication without government identification papers. But you're totally free. You own your body. Half the nation's pregnancies every year are unintended. Because half the women who get pregnant every year didn't know that fucking causes babies. Maybe this is the 55% that believe in astrology. I don't know. You know, and you women don't understand why men don't want you in the workplace. You're too stupid to know where babies come from. But you think you should be the CEO of a corporation. I didn't intend to get pregnant. Well, let's see. Did you stick a cock inside of you? Well, gosh. I wonder what happens when you stick a cock inside you and you're not on birth control. Oh, I can't fucking figure this out. It must be the patriarchy. I know the patriarchy crept into your bedroom while you were sleeping and crept up your cooch and impregnated you. You didn't have anything to do with it, did you? Half the nation's pregnancies every year are unintended, and doctors' groups say more access to morning after pills could cut those numbers. Could cut the numbers of unintended pregnancies? So, if women can get a morning after pill, they'll suddenly magically understand where babies come from? Oh, I get it. They're saying that if more women could get the morning after pill, there'd be fewer kids. Not really opposed to that. Again, if you're not smart enough to know where babies come from, should you be reproducing and should you be a parent? Probably not. The pills contain higher doses of regular contraceptives, which, by the way, are doing a great... The birth control pill is, as I've talked about before, doing a great job of polluting the environment by dumping all of these hormones and estrogen and all this other shit into the water system, which goes into the rivers, which goes out to the oceans. You know, they found fish in the rivers with incredibly elevated levels of human hormones and estrogen, which, of course, I suppose any level of human hormones and human estrogen in a fish would be elevated since they're not normally there. But of course, do women care about that? No, of course not. Women, they're so compassionate and they care about the environment and they care about the fishies and they care about clean water, but not if it interferes with their cooch. Anything that interferes with a woman's cooch, God forbid she just get a fucking IUD that can last 5 or 10 years. It doesn't release any chemicals into the environment. That is, what IUDs are, something like 99.7% effective. They're the most effective form of birth control, other than, of course, not having sex. Nobody's ever gotten pregnant not having sex. Okay, but no, we can't use IUDs. No. We were going to keep pumping those pills. Why are we going to pump those pills? Because they're sold by the pharmaceutical corporations. And you liberal Democrat women, you hate corporations, don't you? Yeah, those evil corporations. Oh, we hate them. But boy, those birth control pills that come from big pharmaceutical corporations, oh, we got to keep popping those motherfuckers like they're Fred Flintstone vitamins. Fuck the environment. Yeah, I want my motherfucking birth control pills. I want hormones being dumped into my body and fucking up my system. I mean, how stupid are you women that you take medication that dumps artificial hormones into your body and fucks up the natural system of your body? How fucking stupid are you? Apparently you're so stupid that half of you don't know where babies come from. Apparently you're so stupid that you believe you own your body and that you're a free woman. But of course you can't buy a pill without permission from the government and a government-issued identification card. You're pretty fucking stupid. That's how stupid you are. Anyway, done with that. And if you just fucking Google Plan B pill, overweight, whatever, you'll find shit tons of articles. I'll probably throw in a link or two pointing to the announcement by the company that makes the Plan B pill that the Plan B pill does not work if you're a fat bitch who weighs over 176 pounds. And of course you can find plenty of articles where feminists are screeching about fat shaming and patriarchy and all this other shit. Alright, I'm going to pause this. We're going to get the next thing and we're going to roll on. As I can get the fucking mouse to... Come on, computer. Christ. This is why I cannot be left on my own without a woman to supervise me. Can't fucking do anything. Okay, speaking of your non-ownership of your body, This is from the Rocky Mountain Collegian. This is Tuesday, February 18th, 2014. I'm in the same year. Wow, we're getting good here. Federal benefits extended to LGBT. I'm going to do this thing called turning on the light. Oh, shit, I can see now. Same-sex spouses who filed joint tax returns this year for the first time in history can now also enjoy federal legal recognition in the matters of bankruptcy, prison visits, and survivor benefits. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Now, homosexuals can visit each other in prison, or they can go into bankruptcy together. Oh, isn't that special? They have permission from the government to visit each other in prison. Of course you own your own body. That's why you needed permission from the government to get married in the first place. Of course. Oh, isn't that so wonderful? Why, they can't possibly be slaves. Look, the government has given homosexuals permission to go into bankruptcy together. Oh, isn't that special? The U.S. Justice Department announced last week that these additional rights, these are some rights. Look, we found some additional rights for you. Oh, isn't that really sweet of us? I mean, how can... This is just unbelievable to me. The number of people who read this and were like, oh yay, the Justice Department has given us additional rights. I mean, it's like, God damn it. How... I don't understand how you people can be so fucking brainwashed that you read shit like this and you can't see through it. How can you not see through this? How? It's like the plantation owner walks out and has all his slaves gathered, and he says to them, well, today I was going to kill 5 of you niggers, but you know what? I think I'm only going to kill 2 niggers today. And all the slaves go, oh, yay! Oh, we have the best plantation master ever! How can you people not fucking see that you are the property of the government? How can you not see this? The U.S. Justice Department announced last week that these additional rights will be granted they'll be granted. Right? See, you don't have these rights. No, you don't have them by being alive. No. They are granted to you by the Justice Department. Because you see, the Justice Department owns you. How can you not fucking see this? These additional rights will be granted to same-sex spouses as another step in the path to full equalization of same-sex and opposite-sex marriages, which are, of course, only not currently equal because of government regulations. The only thing that has prevented same-sex marriage from being viewed equally to opposite-sex marriage has been the government. Now you're going to say, well, there are bigots out there who are opposed to same-sex. Well, yes, there are. There's bigots out there opposed to everything. Who gives a fuck? The only reason those bigots have the power to do anything in any way to affect you if you have a same-sex marriage is because of the government. well, if I'm a man and I'm married to another man, the bigots wouldn't give me a job. Well, if you were a free citizen, you could start your own business. You wouldn't need as much money because you wouldn't be paying as many taxes. The corporations wouldn't exist, and so virtually every business would be a small localized business, which means if the business here didn't want to hire you because you're homosexual, you'd go somewhere else to somebody who doesn't give a fuck that you're homosexual, and they would hire you. Every bit of inequality between same-sex marriage and opposite-sex marriage can be traced to the government and its laws. And of course, all these bigots, where were they educated? Public education, controlled by the government. Well, if the fucking government does such a great job educating people, why'd all these people come out of public schools hating homosexuals? And all these bigots who hate homosexuals, don't they have mothers? I mean, if women are so compassionate and caring, and such great parents, and care about children so much, and care about tolerance and diversity and open-minded, if you women are so wonderful, why are your children a bunch of fucking bigots? Quote, the Justice Department is committed to ensuring equal treatment regardless of sexual orientation and to using every tool and legal authority available to combat discrimination and safeguard the rights of all Americans, unquote, Holder said in a memo to all department employees on February the 10th. Safeguard the rights of all Americans. You mean the rights the Justice Department has granted to them. We're not talking about the rights that Eric Holder doesn't approve of. What about the rights of Mormons to have group marriages? Oh no! Fuck no, we can't have that. Because, if we allow group marriage, well then next thing you know, people will be getting married to their dogs and trees, and suddenly society will disintegrate. Oh, we can't have that. Oh, God, no. The CSU, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, and ally resource center director, said that these rights are being granted in a time of great historical significance for LGBT citizens. Isn't it so historically significant that at this point in history, our owners, the government, are granting us these rights? Oh, it's so wonderful and tolerant and diverse and multicultural, and Obama is the most transparent president ever, and oh, I'd so like to suck his cock because he's so hot. Quote, I hope students on campus know that they are living in an age where history is being made in leaps and bounds, unquote. Director Faula Dipapapapopoulos said. However, Dipapapopoulos says that there is still much to be done. Yes, we still need more permission from the government in other areas. In the near future, that's a he. It's like, oh God. In the near future, he hopes to... In the near future, it hopes to see an open allowance of transgender citizens in the military, less discrimination in the workforce, and more colleges like CSU to ban any discrimination for sexual orientation. Yes, that is what would make transgendered people truly equal. If they could join the military and kill other humans for the government. Transgendered people can't really be equal until they have the opportunity to murder total strangers at the command of their Lord and Savior, Hussein Obama. Until then, they're just an oppressed people. It's pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible, isn't it? Dipapapopoulos also said that the change cannot only come from within the government. Society must also open itself up to the acceptance of LGBT citizens. Quote, institutional change can never come fast enough. It takes all of us to create a world where we all want to be in it. Unquote. Yes, it takes all of us to create a world where the government owns your body, where you need permission from the government to get married, where you need permission from the government to clean out your cooch when you accidentally get a baby in there because you didn't know where babies come from. It takes the active participation, is that what it said? It takes all of us. It takes all of us to create a world where transgendered people can only be equal once they're allowed to join the military and murder other humans in the name of his Lord and Savior, Hussein Obama, the first affirmative action president and the second coming of Jesus Christ. See, we can't be equal in a world where rights come from existing and where you own your own body. No. We have to be in a world, and everybody has to be in this world, where rights are discovered and handed out by the Justice Department. Let's move on. I'm sure there's something else in the pile that I need to talk about. Rocky Mountain Collegian, Thursday, January 28th, 2014. NSA spies on phone app usage. Also, I saw a thing on the internet. The NSA apparently set up fake Facebook sites where you would log on thinking you were logging on to Facebook. You were actually logging on to NSA servers, and they then install spyware on your computer. The most transparent administration ever. While you thumb through the latest games, puzzles, and other apps on your smartphone, NSA spies may be thumbing through your personal information. The NSA can look through cell phone apps for your age, sex, I wonder if the sex includes transgendered. I wonder if they capture that information. Are transgendered people, are they yet equal in the eyes of the NSA? I mean, this is critical. It takes all of us to create a world where transgendered people are spied on just as equally as other people. The NSA can look through your cell phone apps for your age, sex, location, and other data, according to secret British intelligence documents leaked to the New York Times, The Guardian, and ProPublica. But of course, the Messiah announced he's going to reform the NSA. Remember, whenever a politician says we're going to reform something, that's an admission that it failed the first time. That, or it's simply an admission that they're incrementally doing things, which is more likely. For example, Obamacare is going to fail, but they know it's going to fail. Obamacare will be reformed because it's not working as a single-payer healthcare system where the government controls all access to healthcare. I mean, that's the point of Obamacare, is to be the intermediate step between where we are now and where the slave masters want to go. It's also a way of, as I've mentioned before, transferring money to the health insurance corporations from the taxpayers without actually having to do a bailout like they did with the automobile manufacturers and the banks. Obama's NSA reform plan includes these incredible, and they are incredible, they lack credibility. I'm using the word incredible correctly here. Includes these incredible bullet points which lack any credibility. Obama's NSA reform plan is going to strengthen executive branch oversight of intelligence activities. So what he's saying is he has no clue what the fuck they're doing right now. I believe that. His reform plan is going to provide greater transparency to surveillance activities. How can it be greater transparent? We already have the most transparent administration ever. How could it be any more transparent? There will be increased protections over the privacy of U.S. citizens. Of course there will. Of course there will. There will be annually review the program. They're going to review the program every year. Wow. Congress will establish a panel. Congress! There's competency. Now the problems are solved. Congress is going to step in. Congress will establish a panel to advocate for citizens that have been a part of intelligence gathering missions. Congress is going to advocate for citizens who have been spied on by the government. So what if the plantation owner went to the slaves and said, you know what? I'm going to have a white man who's going to advocate for you after I beat you with my whip. Can you imagine the slaves going, oh my God, that's so wonderful. After the massa beats me with a whip, he's going to have another white man say nice things for me. Oh, we're so lucky. We have the best slave master ever. And yet you people read this shit and you think you've got the best slave master ever. Why, Congress is going to advocate for you after the NSA has spied on you. Oh, you're so lucky. You're so free. There's so much fucking freedom here. The freedom is, I'm fucking overpowered by the freedom. I'm almost speechless. Almost, not completely. I'm almost speechless by how much freedom is just falling out of the sky. Actually, it doesn't fall out of the sky. It's granted to you by the Justice Department. Oh, there's so much freedom here. Wow, fuck. I'm serious. How can you people not see? Oh, wait, I know how you can't see through this. 12 years of public education. Here we go. Here's some good quick ones. So apparently, and the details aren't important. We're all going to come back to, do you own your body or not? Apparently, there is a woman who is pregnant. She was on life support. This is in Fort Worth, Texas. Judge Friday ordered Texas hospital to remove life support for a pregnant, brain-dead woman whose family argued she would not want to be kept in that condition. So the woman is brain dead. Her family did not want to keep her on the life support, but the hospital has not pronounced her dead and continues to treat her over the objections of both Eric Munoz and her parents. So here's a question. How can the hospital keep you alive if you can't say you want to be kept alive, and your parents, and Eric Munoz is, I'm probably mispronouncing his last name, it's Munoz. So you're a woman, you're brain dead. Oh my God, they're so, oh yeah, all women are brain dead. Yes! Yes! I couldn't resist. I mean, 65% of you in the medicated generation believe in astrology, and half of you don't know where babies come from. You're fucking all brain dead. All right. It was... God. Oh, that was a cheap shot. That was a cheap... Oh, that was so fucking cheap, but I don't care. All right, so you're a brain dead woman, which is a redundancy. I'm repeating myself. You're a brain dead woman. Because like there's any other kind. I mentioned a while back how if I ever want to have sex again in my life, I'm going to have to lower my standards. I wanted to bang the hot chick, but she has a fucking mustache. It's like she just waxed her mustache. She's really fucking adorable. Her ass is fantastic. Anyway, the brain dead woman is on life support. She's got a fetus inside of her. She probably doesn't know where the fetus comes from. Nobody bought her a Plan B pill. She may be over 176 pounds. We don't know. Her husband Says his wife gave him instructions that she did not want to be sustained on life support. That's what it says right here. The parents also agree. So the three people that are the closest to her in her life don't want her on life support. Yet the hospital's keeping her alive. Explain to me again how you think that you, not the government, owns your body. Explain how that works to me. Sounds to me like somebody other than this woman and her husband and her parents can claim ownership of her body. That's what the fuck it sounds like to me. Anyhow, apparently the judge said pull the plug, and I'm assuming the plug got pulled. It doesn't matter. The case raised questions about end-of-life care and whether a pregnant woman who is considered legally and medically dead should be kept on life support for the sake of the fetus. Oh wait, I need that for the notes. Don't throw that away. You know, the other question is something like this. Because look, I can see that there's a question here. I mean, I don't know. Does it mention how old the fetus is? See, here's an issue too. Are we talking about an 8-month-old fetus, or are we talking about an 8-week-old fetus? I don't see the information. You could Google this. You could probably figure it out. You know, and there's the usual unborn fetus, life of the unborn child, yada, yada, yada. The point is, in a sane society where people own their own bodies, these kind of decisions, I mean, should she be kept alive for the fetus or not? You can debate that, but that decision should be made by her in advance of something like this happening, and by her family. The family, the husband says she didn't want to be in extended life support. Okay, the fact that the government was keeping her alive this long because there's a fetus inside her is one more indicator that, as I've been trying to point out to you fucking brain dead women, you don't own your body. And you live in a society that you support. You keep the society alive. You contribute to it. All these politicians who think you don't own your body, they all had mothers. They all went through the public school system. They all went to college. If everything in our society, which is dominated by women, even though you think there's a patriarchy, if everything's so fucking great, how do all these assholes keep rising to positions of power? Why do you keep obeying these assholes? I mean, instead of getting permission from a judge to unplug the woman, go in there and fucking unplug the shit. Does nobody in this woman's life know how to motherfucking unplug an electrical cord? Unplug the goddamn life support equipment. Fuck! Interestingly enough, if somebody had gone in there and unplugged the life support equipment, keeping this woman alive, they probably would have been tried for and convicted of murder. In fact, I guarantee that would have happened, because that's exactly the sort of thing that would happen in Texas.